Morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Good? Okay. Cho em mic to hơn một chút xíu. Okay, so really excited to be a part of the event today. And I hope my story today will inspire a lot of you. Let's get started, shall we? So I was with my mom at a concert 2 weeks ago. And during break time, after I got out of the bathroom, a girl approached me, and she was one of my followers. We started talking for about 10 minutes, and we talked about a lot of things: life, the show, and her school life. And before she headed back to her seat, she asked me a question. And that question, until now, standing here after 2 weeks, I'm still thinking about it. That question was so interesting that I want to make it the main topic of my TED Talk today. She asked me, if you really are an introvert, how come is it so easy for you to talk to a stranger like me? And she told me that, and she also told me that she was an introvert herself. And she had difficulty making conversation with strangers or even maintaining her friendships. So why is that question interesting for me? Could it brought me back to the day when when I used to use the label introvert on myself to convince myself that I am not capable of doing anything social related. And if you see me now, I'm standing here giving my first TED Talk. You wouldn't think I'm an introvert, right? So today I want you to leave this talk with two main points. First, why is it okay for you to be an introvert? And second, how can you accept your fear in order to grow? So I will save my answer to her for the last of this talk, but let me tell you, when you mention the word introvert, what is the first thing that came up to your mind? What is the first thing? Shy, a person who is shy, or even lacks of social skill, or just stay in their own world all the time, or kind of weird. But those are just really misconceptions of an introvert. So what's the difference between an extrovert and an introvert? That's how they receive their energy. While extroverts get their energy from crowd and they're comfortable talking to a large group of friends. Introvert, on the other hand, they enjoy their time alone and they recharge more when they're in solitude, or they are really aware of their internal thoughts. So does that mean all introverts are loners? Do they feel lonely all the time? Or should they change to be better? I don't think so. I have an example to prove that. So let's rewind back to 2011. So in 2011, a big change happened to me. I decided to leave Vietnam and pursued my bachelor degree at the University of New Hampshire. And same as a lot of kids growing up watching High School Musical, I had lots of expectations before I came to the States. I thought I'm going to be a social butterfly. I'm going to make a lot of friends. And I can imagine myself sitting at lunch at a cafeteria and someone will approach me and ask me to be their friend. So I brought that expectation with me to the first orientation week, where I met my roommate who was from Taiwan, and she was also an introvert. But we didn't really care about any personality traits. We were new students and we were so excited for a new adventure. We went to a lot of welcoming events. We tried to make a lot of friends, and I even tried to go to some parties. But you know what happened at week 5? I felt so drained. I remember me and my roommate, that was in my dorm room. And my roommate's desk was the opposite. And we were sitting back to each other, and we just started crying because making friends was not easy. And it's feel exhausting to be around people all the time. Then I realized I missed my alone time. I need my alone time to recharge. So that's what I needed. But for those straight 5 weeks, I was trying to be an extrovert because I thought I would be so much cooler. Then I would be a whole different person. And I was trying to be a different identity. And you know the result, I felt so drained after that. And as introverts, there will be a lot of times that you might be told by your parents or your friends or your relatives to get out more, get out the house, go explore, or even break out your shell. But if you're not ready to do that yet, just remember, you do you. Then that's how you respect your energy. You don't have to be in a room and you have to know everyone to be a special person. Introverts, they are not really into small talks, but they are good listener. And introverts, they are not have to be the life of the parties, but they are excellent of observing details. So what about their sensitivity? Right? The words sometimes tell you that you don't have to be so sensitive. But I'm sure you know one or two introvert who is really passionate about what they're doing. So the main point here is you are the one who know yourself best. And being an introvert is not a disadvantage. So it is more than okay to be an introvert and you know what you have to offer the world out there. So let's talk about the fear of talking to stranger. How many of you here are scared of talking to strangers? Like it's so difficult to start a conversation, right? Because sometimes you feel awkward or you feel irrelevant to people there. And but I used to be the same. And I thought I got my first ideal part-time job when I was in college. So that ideal part-time job was working as a dishwashing room in a dining hall. Why is it ideal? Because I didn't have to talk to anyone. So the working environment, I worked there with three other old ladies, the Spanish ladies, and they didn't even know much English. Plus the environment, there was loud music in the background, plus the sounds of forks, plates, and cups. You didn't have to talk to each other. And I worked in silence for about like four months. And I thought it was okay. Nothing really mattered. Until one day, an African guy showed up. Even his English was not good at all, but he still tried to communicate with me with his broken English. And after that, I felt like, wow, it's just not working anymore. I can ask about his day. We can talk about the dishwasher, talk about plates, and it's still fun. And I realized that I can create opportunity for myself to learn something. So in that case, it was learning some English. Even his English was not even good. So after that, I tried to look for more positions in the dining hall. You might wonder why dining hall, because that is the only place that I can work at. And I became the sous chef of the vegetarian station. I helped picking up cucumbers and tomatoes, and I learned how to make pizza. It's still the same minimum wage job that can just enough for you to pay for rent. But it felt differently because I talked to people and I can ask about their day, ask about their family. Some of them complain all the time. Some of them are really positive all the time. But that's what I learned, the differences between people and what matters. I learned about their day, and I even learned some words for the kitchen appliance, which I didn't have no idea before. I didn't even know how to pronounce the broom before I got to the state. So I felt different. I felt accomplished after the shift. Even if it's still the same payment and I still smell really bad after every shift, but I made a change. And if you are someone who is scared of change, just try to change your own perspective. Change will happen when you shift your perspective. What do you do when you are nervous? What do you do when you're nervous? Before you have to do a big presentation, do you have your favorite motivational quote to boost your confidence? So my favorite confident boosting quote is fake it till you make it. And I know a lot of people might not agree with the word fake in the quote, but that's what helped me tremendously. I didn't have the confidence before, but I didn't have the confidence before, but it doesn't mean just faking. You have to fake it with a good preparation, right? If you are nervous of giving your presentation, you have to practice, 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 practice. Until it becomes your reality. You become really good at it. You become so professional at it. You are not afraid of it anymore. Let's talk about fear to start something. Growing up, I was a really anxious kid. Whenever my dad asked me to go ask for direction from strangers, it would put so much pressure on me. And as I got older, even got into college, I was in a musical club. I was a member of a musical club. And you must think, if I sign up to be a part of musical club and I like performing, I must be so confident, right? Well, I was not. I had stage fear. So every time I got on stage, I just froze. And I can't even smile. But you might ask, why did I even sign up to be a part of it if I feel so intimidated to be on stage? Well, the reason was really simple. I had a crush on a guy in the team. So that was a silly reason, right? But it was still one reason for me to start. And if I didn't have a crush on that guy, I must have chickened out after the first performance. And that guy is my husband now, after 12 years. Thank you. So, if you are afraid to start something, just find a purpose. It doesn't matter how big or small that purpose is. You find a purpose, you take your first step, and because you don't know where it might take you. So just take the chance. In your lifetime, there will be a lot of times that, especially when you're younger, you might say things you don't really like, but just to make people happy and make you feel the sense of belonging. Because people can make assumptions about you and you want to fulfill their assumption. If you are Gen Z, right, people will assume that you will be good at all the TikTok dances and you know all the TikTok dances and you will be a very outgoing person because you are the youngest generation. And that's how the social media portrayed of successful people. You have to be confident. You have to know everything that's trendy. But just remember, nobody is the same as other. You are the only version available in this world. And you will learn how to accept yourself, accept your fears, and just laugh at things that don't matter. So let's come back to the girl's question at the beginning. What did I answer to her? I told her, if you are nervous, that's okay. But don't take the conversation as conversation. Take it as an opportunity. You get to know the person. You get to know about their day. You get to know what they do to be successful, or even share to them about yourself. People will not ask you the first thing they see you, right? They will not ask you, are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? They will not judge you for that. The only thing they see in front of them was a girl. So why don't show your best? Just take it as your only chance. Thank you.